Hello, Future Bestsellers. How are you guys? We are very, very happy to see you all today. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We were having a fascinating discussion backstage about what's going on with Barnes and Noble. We were talking about all kinds of goody stuff. So we're going to talk about that. If our friend from last week is still in the chat today, then we're going to talk a little bit about marketing middle grade novels, in particular superhero middle grade novels, since we have like the team right here, superhero middle grade superhero. So we'll do that, and then anything else you guys talk about today.
Robert, we should co-author a superhero middle grade.
What?
Illustrated series.
I would like buy that for sure. I think that's awesome. I think a ton of people would buy that. Actually, that would be a really great idea. Let's say hello to everybody here, and then we will say hello to our friends in the chat. Caro Brown / Faye Black has been very quiet this morning so far, so I'm going to make her go first. Hi, Caro. We're super glad you're here today.
Hello, my name is Caro Brown. I also write under the name of Faye Black. Thank you for having me. I haven't really had a chance to say anything so far because you guys were just kind of hitting the nail on the head pretty well, so I didn't want to be redundant.
Go ahead. I was like, we fully expect you will have stuff to say about this. So, what are you working on?
I'm actually working on the press kit for Caro's Tarot because I haven't done it yet, so I'm going to be doing that today.
I can help you.
You said that last week. But,
I know. I'm super my schedule has become more my own. I am trying to play catch up this week, but I want to help you.
Well, you reach out to me when you have an opening, and I'm going to keep trugging forward.
Okay, let's do it. All right. Text Caro now. All right, Story Detective, we're so glad you're here today. What are you up to today? And who are you? Tell us all about you.
Well, I have been telling stories through words and pictures my entire life, through comic books and other storytelling medium, and my channel combines all that because I likened it to being a detective, a story detective, and I put it under a Sherlockian microscope, break down the craft, and give it to the viewers to make your job easier, because I've already done what you're looking to do, so...
Excellent. Look at you. Hi, Michelle / Write Club accountability partner. How are you today?
I am doing good. In fact, I am really aiming to finish a draft of this book on this live stream.
What? Oh my gosh.
Today.
All right.
I am at a total of 87,819 words.
Oh, nice.
I really think it's going to end at 90-ish.
Oh, yay. I'm super excited about it. Well, you also have an awesome channel, and we are actually going to talk a little bit about one of your videos, which is funny because a client of mine sent an article that's been circulating about Barnes and Noble, and then I saw your video pop up, and I think that's a really great topic for us to cover today. Like, what is happening, and what does that mean for authors? What do we think it means for authors? Mm-hmm. Good, bad, terrible? Who knows? Okay, so great, fantastic. I'm Lisa Daly. I can't talk today. I'm working on a hockey romance. Yeah. And if you want to write a book you're super proud of and get it published, this is a great place to start. Mm-hmm. All right, let's say hi to some of our friends. We got to get some sprints out today because I want to see Michelle finish that book. That's accountability, baby. All right, here we go. Hi, Michael. Michael Cviched is here. We're very glad to see you. You were first today. Congratulations.
Well done.
Bennu Bright is here. Hello. Claude. Hello, Claude. We're very glad to see you today. JC is here. Hello, JC. Richard, we're so glad you made it today. Yay. Very, very glad to see you. CO Savvy's here. Hello. I hope everyone's good. So can I just say, CO, thank you so much. Like every day, CO like has like words of encouragement. She's like, "Woo, you did it!" Like she is so awesome. So thank you very much.
Oh, Lisa, I don't know if you saw this, but there is somebody who's been posting shorts Madeline.
I know. Yeah. I commented on hers. I know I'm excited that there are 3 of us now. I think that's pretty awesome. So, yeah, super exciting. I think that's really fantastic. Yeah, so before I just hop through that, Michelle and I are posting shorts every day after we finish writing. Michelle's have been mostly in the morning, mine have been mostly in the evening. And if you want to post your writing progress for the day or frustrations or whatever, we're using the hashtag Write Club. And I'm such a dork. And so if you guys want to do that with us, we would love to be accountability partners with you. It would be awesome. All right, let's say hey to everybody else. Morgan, hello. We're very glad you are here today. All right, lots and lots of back and forth. Cool Gamer's here. Hello, Cool Gamer. Glad to see you today. Lisa, good morning. We are very glad to see you today. We have lots and lots of chit chat back and forth. What are you guys working on today? Let us know in the chat. JC is going to be reading during at least the first sprint from my bed. Yeah, right. I can totally get on board with that. Richard, I'm catching that thought thanks to Michelle's incredible video about writing faster. Yay! Fantastic. It really is. It really was a great video. Today will be my last live for a while. I'm a teacher and I go back to school tomorrow.
Aww.
Well, we're glad you're going to be watching on replay. We will be thinking about you while you are in school.
Thoughts and prayers. Seriously.
Yeah, be careful there. Hello. We're so glad. Math, we're very glad to see you. Very, very nice. Oh, good. And Lisa's excited to hear about the Barnes & Noble talk. We have thoughts, everybody. So why don't you guys go around? So, Carol, you said you're working on a press kit. I'm going to pull up our first sprint. Anything else you're planning on working on today?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna wing it.
I love that. That's fantastic. I'm all about winging it. Okay, cool. Very nice. How about you, Robert? What are you going to be working on today?
I am going to be hitting those YouTube videos again because I have one I'm finishing and another I still have to do, but I'm going to take a page from Michelle's book and dictate that and then work on it through the sprint.
Love that. I love that. Let me say, Michelle, you guys know that I have struggled with the idea of updating my Mac operating system because I've had the same version of Word for 1,000 years. I'm like, I'm not paying for something that they have not improved, and I don't need a new one that I have to the whole thing, right? Here's what got me over the hump. Finally, the dictation software you recommended.
The one
I had to upgrade. And let me just tell you, having used several others, including Dragon, this is a really good deal. I did go ahead and I really I was really impressed with it. It's very accurate. It's
hard to find in the App Store because it's literally just called Dictate.
Yeah.
But I can send you a link. Yeah, it's like there's a free trial, and then I think it's like $17 for an annual subscription, which is significantly cheaper than Dragon.
Yeah, significantly.
Obviously, it doesn't have all of Dragon's features, like customizing words and spellings and stuff, but it's pretty accurate. It never shuts off.
Yeah, that's a huge thing.
That's really all I cared about.
Right. I mean, right, because that's the one downside. Yep, Google has a dictate, like I think it's called talk to text on GDocs, and that works great. But if you're writing a book and say thinking in between talking, which writers tend to do, it shuts off and you have to restart it. You have to re-say your thing, and it really messes with your rhythm. So that I think alone was for me worth the $17. And there's some other little features that you get when you upgrade, but there is a free version of that, and it's a little Michelle, you're a wrench, right? I think you can just drop it in the chat if you want.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I will try to. Hang on. I got to actually find the link.
Okay. Wait, I was going to say, you can go back to your email to me because I had the same thing. I was like, which one is it? So,
I'm using my phone, and it works pretty great. But like you said, you stop, and then it shuts off. And then
Well, this also has an app for your phone. So you can do that, which is really super helpful because I have a long drive coming up this weekend, and I was like, ooh, like long, boring drive of highway and no one else. And I thought, like, how many hours worth of like book writing could I do on the way? Because I'm always thinking anyway. So anyway.
Yeah. And I tried that, again with the phone, and I had a lapel mic, and I'm doing it while I'm driving. And then when you pause and it shuts off, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, right. Oh, the worst. The worst. All right, Robert, you are working on videos today. I'm very excited. Everybody's channels are coming back. I'm super excited about that. And Michelle is going to be finishing her book today.
Yay!
All right. Yay. I know. I'm super excited about that. So without much further ado, we are going to get some writing done today, people. We've got this. Oh, I'll be working on my hockey romance. Hopefully I get my word count in this morning. All right, let's see what we've got here. What is happening? There we go.
I'm doing redundant work. That's what's happening.
All right, here we go. I don't want to get started with our 5 minute before Michelle is ready. Did you find the link?
Sorry, I had to unmute. I did. I dropped it in there, but now I don't see it. Did my comment not show up?
I don't know.
I'm going to put it in the private chat.
Okay, and I'll drop it in. All right, cool. Okay, so thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah.
We are going to start with our 5 minute warm up sprint. You guys, if you haven't let us know already what you're working on today, please do let us know. And let's get rolling with our 5 minute warm up sprint. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Warm it up. Took me a second there. That went super fast. Was that just me?
No, it was fast.
It was fast. It was super fast. All right. So, we are going to talk about Barnes and Noble today, and one of the things that, if you guys haven't seen, Michelle did actually a really fantastic video about some of the big changes that are happening. And it is funny how, like, all of a sudden it feels like everybody is talking about this. So Michelle, do you want to kind of like go over like the big, I think there were like 3 big changes that are happening. Yeah. Do you want to cover those so everybody is up to speed?
And that's the reason a lot of people were confused, is because Barnes & Noble still hasn't really made an official statement. So they haven't clarified their policies, but it was like a whole bunch of authors hearing things from their own editors, and there are different things happening, but then they put out there, and the authors are all telling the truth, but the things don't exactly match up. And I think that's where everybody got like really confused about what was going on.
Right.
And so as far as we can tell, there's 3 things. One is that middle grade hardcovers of middle grade books are only going to be stocked if they're either brand name, like Diary of a Wimpy Kid or Harry Potter or whatever, or it's like the top 2 best-selling ones per house, which again is just going to be the brand name stuff.
Right, right.
So basically, unless you're, like Rick Riordan, your middle grade hardcover is no longer going to be stocked in Barnes & Noble.
Right.
That was what middle grade authors were being told. For young adults, all other authors, no matter what age level, Barnes & Noble, it's like what they're basically saying is that they're going to be focusing on more shelf space for backlist paperbacks, like the same books that sell,
year after year after year after year,
which is money for them. I get it.
Sure.
More room for those. And to have a hardcover stocked, you have to have a proven sales track record, which basically means if you're a debut, you're completely screwed because you have no track record, because how could you?
Right. Which is funny because that used to be the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, it really did. Because, and that's bringing us to another change, and this happened a while ago, is that there's no co-op anymore. Co-op is when publishers could purchase, usually for thousands of dollars, a table at Barnes & Noble, a feature table for their tables. They could like buy marketing, like placement to put it in,
or an end cap.
Or an end cap. And they can't do that, which in some ways is a good thing, because that gave the big 5 or the big 4 or whatever so much power, because they have more money to do that. A smaller publisher can't afford necessarily to do their books that way. But now it's gone all together, and so publishers' hands are totally tied. Like they can't even pay to feature some of their books.
Right.
And then, oh gosh, now I'm blanking. I need to watch my own video again on what the third one was. Just that they're
more local.
Oh yeah, and the localized, the indie approach. The guy who took over Barnes & Noble had apparently saved Waterstones in the UK. They went from bankruptcy to profitable, which is fantastic. And from what I'm hearing from people who live in the UK, it's actually really great to go to a Waterstones now, and you do get more of an indie experience. But they don't have this, at least not yet, they don't have this policy of only hardcover middle grade brand names, or, it doesn't seem to be that kind of a shopping experience. So I don't know. He says he's doing the same thing with Barnes & Noble here, but the actual policies that we are being told are put into place don't follow what's happening with Waterstone. And for authors, what this means, like it happens sometimes where a publisher in their contract, they will schedule a hardcover and paperback simultaneous release. But from what I've gathered, that's really rare. I know every contract I've ever had, hardcover, and then a year later paperback. And if hardcover sales aren't good enough, they'll just cancel the paperback release altogether. So if you look at it that way, the way it is now is it's like, well, they're not going to stock my hardcover at Barnes & Noble, so my hardcover sales are going to suck.
Right. So will I ever get a paperback?
Get a paperback to put on the shelves. Like I think that's the real concern publishers are having here, not just authors, but like this is kind of happening them as well,
Well, it's interesting that you say that, because when I was doing publicity for the mid-size mystery publisher, our sales reps at Ingram, which is the largest book distributor, were telling us Barnes & Noble is not buying as many hardcovers. They really want trade paper for adult releases. So adult mysteries, thrillers, romance, they really wanted trade paper.
Right.
And so we made a decision at that time to do simultaneous releases of trade paper and hardcover.
Mhm.
And you know what? Barnes & Noble didn't stock any more of the books than they had previously.
Mhm.
We didn't sell any more of one type or another, right? So we still sold the same number of hardcovers and we still sold the same number of trade paper. Although some authors, one in particular, and in fact, their biggest selling author, was really angry because he had built over years and years a really good relationship with a ton of indie bookstores, and he did all these signing events, and he said it's really hard to get somebody to pay full price for a hardcover at an indie bookstore when they can buy the trade paper for $11 on Amazon. And that he felt like his trade paper sales were cannibalizing his hardcover sales.
Mhm.
And so then they started doing kind of a scattershot approach where with some books they'd have simultaneous release and other books they would do a year apart. Now his books do sell in hardcover and trade paper, so for him it was more beneficial to have your hardcover release first. But here's the other thing. This is a guy he's won a crap ton of awards. He has a really fantastic sales record. He sells more than most other authors do. He's still solidly a mid-lister, but he still sells pretty well, and series author. And he can't get arrested at his local Barnes & Noble. And this is a guy, last year he won Mystery Writer of the Year in San Diego. So Mystery Writer of the Year. I'd gotten him an AP review, so he was covered in newspapers across the country, including his own local paper, the San Diego Union Tribune. Plus, we'd gotten him a feature in the San Diego Union Tribune, and there was some other big thing. Anyway, so he's like everywhere in San Diego. He's really well known, and his local Barnes & Noble stores wanted to carry him and were really hitting a brick wall as far as the structure that is now in place. What they had, what Barnes & Noble said over about a year and a half ago at a big publishing conference put on by Publishers Weekly was that they were going to give more power to the local stores, to the store managers and the CRMs to buy what was popular in their areas. But with flagship stores, with big stores, those store managers have some power to bring in books, local books. But in the smaller stores, which are, most of what you'll find across the country, those stores are like grouped together and one person has the decision on whether or not to stock those books. And it doesn't seem like it's really been a struggle. And this is for a guy who's, a solid mid-lister selling consistently with a popular series.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It really is.
And part of their statement was to have proven sales before they carried your book. So that's really strange. So you're going to have to prove yourself where? Over on Amazon with
on their competitor. Well, it is kind of funny. It's almost like the whole thing where agents are looking to see which indie authors have success before they take them on. So it's like they're going to let somebody else market test the idea before they'll take them on, which, if you think about it, is a good strategy business wise in some ways, but debuts are often where debuts, there's a big chance some of them go and there are no sales, but some of them hit really big. And a lot of authors, mid-list authors who are have had bad sales will change their name to become book virgins again and have that have another debut, but that strategy is not going to work anymore. So yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but it really is. It is rough. All right, you guys, let's see what we've got here, what people are saying. We have a whole bunch of hockey romance stuff that was hilarious that I totally missed. I want to say, okay, so here we go. Let's talk about this. It's a catch-22. Hardcover sales affect whether you get paperbacks. So if they don't stock hardcover, they won't sell. So then you may not get paperbacks. Here's another problem, though, right? For romance writers, we are often stuck in the paperback ghetto. And that means, right? So romance authors, which are primarily women, are a lot more they're a lot more likely to come out and trade paper. So
Right.
if you make a lot and thrillers, mysteries, which are written by women and men, but there are more male mystery and thriller authors more likely to come out in a hardcover. And you make a lot more money in a hardcover than you do in a trade paper. You make a lot more money. You make like in a trade paper, you're making like 80 cents, and a hardcover, you're making $2 or $3. And that adds up. It adds up when you're trying to earn out your advance. It adds up. And so that's another huge disadvantage. And there are some readers that love, I will always buy a hardcover if I have the opportunity paperback, because I keep my books for all eternity. I would like to be buried with them, and I would like them to last a little longer. Right? Just me. Yeah. So there's something like that. All right, let's see what we've got. Dun, dun, dun. Anybody else have something to say? Richard says Barnes and Noble has forgotten how to capitalism. Yes, I think there's some definite truth in that. I will say, and I cannot remember the guy's name, the person they brought in to save Barnes and Noble did turn around the chapters. Was it chapters? No, Waterstones in the UK, and that's good. Like we really do want we want bookstores more than just Amazon. I do worry that once again, Barnes and Noble is going to try and cream the indies who finally have come back after, Barnes and Noble the first time came through and crushed them all like bugs. And then, and they managed to sort of find their way back. But it took like a decade for indie stores to really have a good resurgence. So that part of it, like, oh, you can go to Barnes and Noble and have the indie experience. Like, okay, if there's not an indie bookstore in your neighborhood, but if there is,
and that's just, again, with these policies, it's just not the reality of what Barnes and Noble is giving us. Like, I'm sure there are a handful of Barnes and Noble somewhere in the US that are kind of doing the indie thing, and it's a pleasant experience, but most of them, like half of the store is merchandise that is not books.
Oh my God. Don't even get me started on that. I feel, I go to Books A Million and I feel like anxiety with all the crap that's the toys and the all the garbage.
It's like, what consumer are you targeting? Because if I want to buy a bunch of crap and a book, I'm going to go to Walmart or Target.
Right.
Right.
And it's going to be, if I'm going to Target, that's going to be a more pleasant shopping experience.
Yeah, it really will be.
Yeah. It feels, Books A Million feels like the Walmart of bookstores because the merchandising is terrible. It's chaotic and stressful. And I'm not a fan.
See, this is it here.
Yeah.
This is what phasing out hardcovers because,
they're like $30 now. That's true.
Yeah. They start streamlining everything because of cost. And then I've had this conversation with so many people, in the comic industry. And it's like when the corporate parents start looking like they're stupid, they're not stupid. They're making those decisions to kind of shoot themselves in the foot so they have an excuse to say, well, business isn't working, we don't know what's selling, blam, let's hang out the liquidation sale sign.
Exactly.
Yeah, I am concerned about that, right? On one hand, I don't want Barnes & Noble to cannibalize the indie stores. On the other hand, I don't want Barnes & Noble to disappear because then there's only Amazon. And that's really, really tough. Shannon wonders if the romance market tries to compensate for voracious readers by publishing in paperback, thus cheaper. I think there's some truth to that. That was certainly Harlequin's model back in the day. And they publish mass market paperbacks, which you get even crappier royalties for that. And they are really inexpensive. But I think part of it is the idea of like just traditional economics, which is what will the market bear? I think that I don't know if it starts with compensation or if it starts with the fact that you're, that you have a different reader base, but I have heard for a long time, oh, well, mystery and thriller writers, those are men, or readers, those are men, and they'll pay more for a book. And that is not true. The average mystery reader is a 50-year-old woman. So, which is about the same as the average romance reader. So that is a bunch of crap. If they want that book and it comes only in hardcover, then they're going to do it. This is why indie is so appealing, I think, for authors too, because then you can make that $3, that hardcover money on a trade paper book or even an ebook, and your readers can still buy as many, they can buy a lot more books than they could if they were going the hardcover model.
So what does this mean for the future? I mean, if Barnes & Noble closes their brick and mortar stores, do they hire somebody that knows what to do with a website and try to catch up with Amazon? Because a lot of books sell online, but their website isn't exactly the greatest or even the easiest to navigate sometimes compared to Amazon.
Right. So that's the truth.
Missed a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, they really have. I'm looking back to find your... Okay, here we go. So JC says, couldn't the publishing house just publish paperbacks instead of hardcover? I mean, hardcovers, well, I absolutely love them, are more expensive to buy. Is that the question? So part of it has to do with the author contract. Sometimes your contract depends on where you are as an author. Usually if you're like a mid-lister, they're not going to specify whether it's going to come out in hardcover or trade paper. You find that out at some point based on kind of how excited the marketing team is about the book and what they project the sales to be. But there are some authors that have it in their contract that they come out in hardcover. So so it kind of depends.
It's like a lot depends on genre, and like some probably do more. I mean, I have a lot of middle grade books, including my current ones with Scholastic, that are paperback only.
Right.
But certainly, I mean, it's not unheard of at all. It's definitely something that happens, but standard, I don't even want to say standard. I don't know. What do you think, Lisa?
I think it kind of depends. Like my first middle grade book did come out in trade paper here, but it came out in hardcover in other places. But romance wise, it took me a long time to get a hardcover deal. Like and it which is,
I don't know.
Yeah, which sucks. And I'm like, well, crap. If I ever want to go back to Barnes & Noble, then, do I have to be back in trade paper? I don't know. And how much does that matter? Like, certainly you want to sell wide. You want to sell as, your book in as many places as you can. But how many books are you selling in Barnes & Noble right now, especially if they're not carrying you across all the stores?
Yeah.
So
I also think what you were saying, Lisa, about having hardcovers and keeping your books for eternity. I mean, we're kind of focused on the idea that a hardcover means permanence when the corporate world is thinking everything is disposable.
That's true, right? This is like fast fashion, except for books. God. Well, the other thing too, and let's be real about this here, is that for authors, hardcover feels more prestigious. And for a lot of people, myself included, I was like, because my first book was a dating book. Obviously, that came out in trade paper. And then I wrote my second book, which was considered chick lit, and those all came out in trade paper. So you had to build up to a hardcover. I mean, mystery, again, debut author comes out in hardcover week 1 with no sales record. But in romance, you have to build up a sales record to get into hardcover. And, and you might never get a trade paper if your editor leaves or, if the book does okay, but it doesn't well enough where they feel like they need to, research the whole thing. So, yeah. All right. Richard says he treasures his books. I'm a paperback collector as well as reader. I love that. All right, you guys, this is interesting. Lisa says, if I'm there, I obviously want the book now. If I go home without it, I'm just ordering it from Amazon, most likely cheaper. Yep. Right? That's it.
And faster.
W.H. Smith here in the UK. I love that store. Trailblaze Mass Market Fiction. I shouldn't say that. I love the one in London because I had one of the most interesting, fun, crazy signings I've ever had there. But it's a very meh experience in their store is very tired and bland. That's funny. Well, to be fair, my experience with signing there was 14 years ago. So that was a while. It's probably changed a little bit since then.
And we were talking about in-store experience before the stream, and how like my Barnes and Noble for years have been cutting down so many things that I go there with a list of books, and it can be newer books and I just don't find them. So the idea of stocking what's popular locally, I'm like, either my people locally aren't reading anything that's current or popular, or they're just not carrying them for a while. So this kind of streamline and announcement, it seems like it's probably been snowballing for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. This is the store, Richard. I feel like if you are ever traveling to the UK, that you should definitely put this
I
on your.
went there. Oh my God, but this was a long time ago. But yeah, I remember
Yeah.
it well.
Right? It should be like all the things. You got to see the you have to see the TARDIS outside the tube station. I can't remember which one. You got to see Stonehenge, and you have to fucking see this book, this bookstore. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Fantastic. Let's go ahead and do a 20-minute sprint because Michelle's got a book to finish on the street today. All right, hold on. Here we go. I went all the way back to 2 seconds. Let me get this, pop this bad boy up. Can't do it. Every time I think I'm prepared. Nope. All right, 20 minutes. Here we go. All right, you guys, let's make this count. Everybody get your projects all ready. We are going to start sprinting in 3, 2, 1. Sprint. All right, here we go. How'd everybody do on that last one?
Very good. Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. All right. I'm glad. Carol, how'd you do?
I did good. I finished getting all the images assembled, and I put them in a Google Drive and let my group know. And I'm just waiting for the book to come back next week. So that's it.
Very nice. Very nice. Story Detective, how about you?
I did okay. I kind of got off on a little bit of a tangent, and I think maybe the tangent will be a whole separate video, just because my thoughts were rambling.
That's always fun.
Yeah, I will. Speaking of rambling, you guys know I can be a tad wordy. I have had I used to be able to nail, like, if you tell me, oh, this is a 4-minute and 30-second segment, I could nail it on the dot every time. 60 seconds, same thing. My brain now, apparently still on pandemic time, would like to come in about 61, which is unfortunate because the short allows you 60 seconds. So I literally am like, hashtag, and then it cuts off and I have to record the whole thing again. So that is sad. All right. Anyway, yeah, too wordy for my own good. Michelle, how'd you do?
I'm just entering that into my spreadsheet. Almost 1,200 words.
Woohoo, that's fantastic. Awesome. All right. So Shannon got 442 words plus coffee. That's very, very nice. 236 for Richard. Very, very good job. Margaret, finish my WIT reading for the morning. I don't even know what that is. What is WIT? Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. Margaret, please share what's WIT. We have London fact. Fun London fact: coffee breaks are often referred to locals as Richard holidays. I love you guys so much. Can I just say that? Okay, very nice. Benu is picking apart a chapter. I feel you there. I have not made a decision yet, you guys, but I'm like, okay, there's like a whole Richard Holiday thing that I'm missing. When you've seen 6 Richard Holidays, it's time to go back to your hotel. Oh my God. Very nice. Very nice. Richard says the last controversy I think they got into there was whether it was Waterstones or Waterstone with an apostrophe. Love that. All right. So that was sort of an entertaining sidebar. So we had a friend last week who had questions about marketing a middle grade superhero novel, but I do not see them here today. If you're here, please make yourself known so that we can cover your topic today. Yes. All right. Ooh, look who's here. Ashley's here. Ta-da! Yay! We're so glad you made it. Ashley killed it at 276 words. It's her first time doing a sprint with us. I like the 20-minute time frame. I am so glad. 15 is good, but I always felt like I had more to, like, 20 minutes for me feels like a good, like, that feels like the sprint for me. But everybody's different. Some people like 15 better, or 10s. So I did think, Michelle, didn't you do like a thing the other day? I can't remember if it's a short. It's all starting to. You did. It was a short. Yeah. About, you did like a 30, a 20, a 10, and a 5 or something. What was the one that was most? It was unexpected. What was the one that?
It was kind of weird because that day, the 30-minute sprint was my best in terms of words per hour. And then the 5-minute sprint was my second best. But usually, like, the first time I tried it, the 20-minute sprint was the best. So I think I need to do it a lot and see, like, the pattern over time. I don't think necessarily one day is, like, indicative of which sprint number is best for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sometimes longer is better. Sometimes shorter is better.
Yeah.
Math got 50. Yay! You know what? All words are good words. Very nice. Very, very nice. Oh, Shannon also likes that 20 minutes too. Cool. All right, you guys. Well, we've done some other lengths of sprints. yeah, I like the 20, and that's why we do the 20 because I'm lame. All right. So anyway, yeah. Okay, cool. Does anybody else have anything to say about Barnes and Noble before we move on to another topic?
Thoughts and prayers.
Thoughts and prayers. I do want to see them survive, but not if they turn into a crap-a-rama that also sells books. I shouldn't say that. I want any place that sells books to survive. I should not say. I would prefer it if they did not become a crap-a-rama that sells books.
I guess if you wanted to have something to talk about with it, we could talk about how they've changed their marketing approach, because it was a bookstore and then it became a bookstore and a cafe.
Right.
And now it's a knick-knack store. And like, I went in there and they had cookware in one. And I was like,
right. Yeah. Yeah. And remember they used to have the big comfy chairs because they wanted you to stay and hang out.
Next to the magazines,
right.
That was something that came up a lot in the articles about Borders, when everybody was speculating that Barnes and Noble would close within 5 years, and they were like, it's because they're losing sales because people go there and sit and read and don't buy anything.
I was totally the opposite. I would like go to Barnes and Noble and kind of hang out and like get a stack of books and start kind of reading through just a little bit to see what I was interested in. And I always would leave one, but a lot of times I would pick something up off the table that I had not seen before and read a little bit and decide that I wanted to buy it. In fact, I bought one book that way. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Basically, it was about these women who worked in the they lived in this small town, and they worked in like a watch factory, and they worked with the chemicals that make like your watch face glow, and they were known all through the town because the girls glowed. And I it's like totally escaping me, but it was one of those books that was on the front table. It is nothing I would have ever gone looking for. It was nonfiction. It was fascinating. And they ended up with all these terrible health problems. But when they were young, they were like these moonlight girls where they were sort of glowing blue. It doesn't
Radium Girls.
Right. Exactly. So yes. Radium Girls. Thank you very much. Right. Fascinating book, but I would not have gone searching for that book. And yet I found it. I read it at the bookstore and I bought it. Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think that's a bad thing. When I first decided I was going to write my big novel, there was a small Barnes and Noble in New Jersey I used to go to, and they didn't have big sections set up where you could read, but they had like these cozy corners where you would walk around, the bookshelves, and you just see a chair and a lamp there, and it was so inviting to just sit and read for a while.
Yeah.
And taking that stack of books and having a place to look them over properly, I think, is a good thing, because
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm sure some people go in and read for free, but I'm sure they sold a lot more books when they make it an inviting place to peruse what they have in stock.
Yeah, totally. They're not disability friendly anymore. I can't stand in an aisle and read the backs of books without the benches and seats. It's hard for me to shop. Yeah, that's exactly right. So my daughter has fibromyalgia and she loves museums. Like she's been going to museums her entire life. And she really struggled during the pandemic because they took out all the benches because they didn't want people to linger because of COVID. The problem is that if you're a person who needs to take regular breaks and cannot, just wander on through on those marble floors, you're not going to be able to enjoy the museum in the same way. So that is a totally, sorry, I've lost my train of thought. That's important. They shouldn't take that away. I will say, as much as I am not a fan, I should not publicly say this because I'm an author. As much as I'm not a fan of a certain bookstore whose initials are BAM, I will say that I was in one a couple of months ago, and they have put little shopping carts in there. They're not like regular big ones that you would find like at Target. They're kind of upright and small. But I did find that helpful because I could stick my purse on there, my giant purse, and I probably left there with like 20 books because I wasn't carrying them.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was like, okay, this is a good idea. Like at first I was like, oh, that's tacky. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to get one of those tacky carts while I wander around the bookstore. And then I bought more books that day at that store than I have at any other time in my life, I think, because I wasn't carrying them around. Like I didn't have like the weight in my arms. It's like if your clothes like start being too tight, you go, oh, well, I better watch what I eat a little bit. That was it, right? I didn't have that like, oh, my arms are going to fall off, so I'd better go to the cashier and not continue to pick out books. I didn't have that, so I think the carts were good. So that could just be it. All Barnes & Noble needs to do is add in some wheelie carts. That would be it. Yes. Okay, here we go. Dun, dun, dun. Sidelines, what Robert said. They're called sidelines. There we go. What's called sideline? What are they called? Okay, I don't either. All right. Somebody explain what sidelines are, other than like something you do on the side. Okay. I like long sprints. Just can't sit around for a long time without. Yep. Very nice. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
And you know, when you go into a bookstore like that and you have a list like, you know, I was talking about earlier, and you come out without finding anything to buy, it's disappointing. And that doesn't encourage a return trip either, because you have a couple of those trips and it's like, I want to buy a book, but I'm not finding enough things that interest me to dig through the stacks. It's just, you know, the top 40, and I can get that anywhere.
Yeah. So Ashley has a good question. I have mixed feelings about this kind of bookstore. Usually you'll find these on indie bookstores. There is a bookstore in New Orleans that should be called Hoarders, because it is just like that. Literally, they're like up to the ceiling. You have to like suck it in to get through the aisles because they're so skinny. Like there's so many books. And I love the idea of that, but I found it very claustrophobic. Like, right? And I could like not see my daughter, who was like shopping also, but like just 10 feet away, but we couldn't see each other because there's so many books. And I felt like, and there's no way to like dust that, so it's not. So yeah. So I love the concept of this, but I don't like the experience of it. Anybody else besides Ashley love the crazy bookstores where they're so packed?
When the shelves are just super crammed like that, visually, it looks cool.
It does.
But as far as like being a shopper goes, it's almost like I'm too overwhelmed by choice, and
right,
it's chaotic. Even if it's well organized, it appears chaotic.
Yeah,
to my senses, and
yes,
that doesn't leave me buying.
Yeah, I know you're more likely to find something unexpected and interesting and kind of strange, but I think like for me, I think, oh, this is really cool, and 3 minutes later I'm like, I've got to get out of here. Right? So yeah, that's it. Okay, so Margaret says
the layout of those stores. I remember going in one that didn't have stacks to the ceiling, and I can't even remember the name of the bookstore because this was years ago, but they had all of these wooden shelves and they had tables and stacks and books like that, but the way the shelves were arranged, it was sort of like a little maze. It wasn't just like a library row. And wandering around in there, you could almost get lost. And that was kind of an interesting experience too, because you wanted to take in the maze and the journey of navigating those aisles and the shelves.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Music for All says, I have a bad habit of being struck by ladies with carts in grocery stores. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. Please not in the bookstore. The thing is, I will say though, when you're in the grocery store, aren't you like doing a speed run a lot of times? Whereas the bookstore, you're more likely to linger. Like the cart for me is just a place to store all my books and my bag while I'm looking at other books. So I feel like you probably are less likely to get hit by a cart, because I don't think people are speeding through the aisles throwing their romances in. Maybe they are. I don't know. So yeah. All right. Vixen says carrying the books is a measure of when I'm done shopping. That's what I'm saying, right? This is how I ended up with too many books. I did buy them all though, but this is how I ended up with so many books, because there was nothing to stop me. Carts are the elastic of right? They're the elastic waistbands of bookstores. Sorry, go ahead, Caro.
Oh no, I was just having a moment because there's a book I read called Between the Pages, and it's a WW romance. And one of the lady actually owns a bookstore, and she's kind of, and what I thought was interesting is that they actually dive into like why bookstores have to change. So like if anybody is looking for a book that talks about this topic as part of the plot, that's actually a really good one.
Oh, cool. All right, fantastic. Yeah. The scent of books. I could go on for that. Like I could talk about that for like forever. Okay, I totally agree with this. Even though I'm allergic for cats, they do belong in bookstores. All right. Love this. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and do another sprint. I would like to get another one in. I'm dying for Michelle to finish this book.
So
that's it. All right. I'm dying for you to finish the book. So here we go. Let me get this. Dun, dun, dun. It would be helpful if I... Okay, here we go. All right, everybody. Are we ready?
Yes.
Get set. Right. Here we go. Sprint. All right. Sorry about that. Yes. All right. Very nice. Oh, let's get rid of that. So we have 32 comments. What was happening? All right. Here we go. Hold on. Good. Very nice. So yeah, guys. So how did everybody do on that last sprint?
Good.
Very
I
good.
I skipped through the video, and I tried to get my life back together.
Well, that's good. I'm very glad to hear it. How did it go? Did your life get back together?
No.
I'm so sorry. Margaret came in with an answer we'd ask. In case nobody connected my comments, sidelines are what in real life bookstores sell that is not books. It makes up a surprising amount of their revenue since margins on books are so tiny. So it's exactly what I thought it was, like stuff that you do that's not your main gig, right? So the book bags and the toys and the CDs and the vintage vinyl and all that other stuff. Okay. Michelle, finished? Not finished yet.
Not quite finished, but I'm on the last one.
Oh, well, guess what? We're doing another sprint. It's 12:39. Who's ready to make this happen? Tell you what, we'll take like a 3-minute break and then we're going. Knick-knack. I believe a knick-knack is in fact spelled, not smelled, spelled with a K.
You are correct.
Knick-knack. That's how it is. Oh my. Richard Holiday says knickknacks are a type of crisp here, and a crisp is a potato chip or some sort of chip. So I go with that one. Very nice. Then we have Rick Rack. You know what Rick Rack is? Rick Rack is like that trim that's like a zigzag trim. Mm-hmm. I know this because I was a tall child and my mother would like take my skirts out because I would grow out of stuff really fast. Like I never grew any wider. Oh, those were the days. I never grew any wider, but I always grew up, which my daughter was like that too. She still has shorts that fit her from when she was like in kindergarten. And so my mom would like take my skirts down, make them a little bit longer, but then she like where the hem was, you'd have like a kind of a funny little wrinkle. So she'd like put Rick Rack on it when I was a little kid. Just into my 20s. That's it. All right, you guys. Yes. We love you, Richard. We love you. Richard says the sidelines make a lot of sense, but book chains mustn't lose sight of the fact they are bookstores with a cafe, not a cafe with a bookstore, for example. True. Mm-hmm. I don't know what this is, but I'm all here for it. All right. Shannon got 204 words. Very, very nice. Richard is also here for your typewriter in the backdrop. Very, very nice. Claude says, final countdown, Michelle. You've got this. Sio's like, go, Michelle. Kill your darlings. JC says there's a question for Caro in the comments a little farther up that somebody asked about a book. I skipped right through there. Hold on.
Yeah, that typewriter back there is being cleaned up. That can of compressed air and the paper towels. I mean, here's a tip. If you ever get a typewriter, don't use any kind of oil or WD-40 because over time it turns into goo and it makes the key sticky. And then you have to find a way to clean all that out.
Oh, good job. All right. So the question was, Caro, what's the author of the book between the pages? There's quite a few options with the phrase in that title.
Okay. Yep, you're absolutely right about that. Hold, please.
While you're doing that, I'm gonna. Oh, I'd already rewound our counter. I'm excited. No pressure, Michelle, except a little bit of pressure.
You better finish that book. There, I'll be the person. Rachel Lancey.
Okay.
Rachel Lancey. And like I said, it's a WW romance book, but I thought it was really good. So Lancey is spelled, or Lacey, sorry, Lacey. So Rachel
right.
Lancey.
You heard it here first. All right, guys. Michelle.
Yes.
Are you ready to roll?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, you guys. Hold up. Where'd I look? Did I lose? Oh, there it is. I thought I lost the timer. Okay, here we go. We're putting 20 minutes up on the clock, and it's going to be magic. All right, everybody, let's get sprinting in 3, 2, last one. 1. Hit it. Okay. She's dark. What's the
I'm-
word?
I'm done.
Woo! Oh my
Nice.
gosh, that's so awesome.
Oh my God.
That is incredible. Congratulations.
I have so
That
much editing to do.
How much time did you have to spare in the sprint before you fit? Like when you finished the sprint, was it like you had 1 second left?
No, there were 3 minutes left, but I was going through and like shifting things around and cleaning it up a little bit. So yeah, but yeah.
Love it.
Damn, I almost wrote 10,000 words today.
Holy
Wow.
crap.
You know, I got started really early this morning.
That is amazing though. That is totally although I will say, like, if I'm ever gonna have like a major day, they have always been at the end of the book. Like you can
Yeah.
just feel it. You're just
Okay.
like, right? You really want to get there. Yeah, totally. I have, hold on. There's some window I have open that is like making noise and I can't figure out where it is.
I don't
So,
know.
I know it's like it's in the, hold on, I can, nope, it's not, it's muted. Anyway, I don't know. I can just hear it. I'm just going to pretend like it doesn't exist. All right. Oh, I can just take this thing out of my ear. How about that? Okay. So it's 1:05. We are all done for the day. We have lots of comments popping up. So yay, congratulations, Michelle. Whoop whoop. Another yay, very nice. Everybody is all
You guys
super,
are-
yeah, everybody is really proud of you. So this is absolutely fantastic. Shannon had to switch to author business, sent some emails, scrubbed a list. Whoop whoop, says Michael CB Chen. Benu says congrats. Richard says don't delete me, Shannon. And JC says congratulations, Michelle. So this is so fantastic. We are super proud of you.
Thank you.
Title of the book?
Oh, I haven't. I'm keeping that a secret.
You haven't had a reveal yet. Okay.
I really like the title, and I want to keep it on the.
Ooh, all right. Well, we'll be very excited for the big reveal of that. Yay. All right. So you're going to work on cleaning it up next.
God,
and yeah. All right. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, 10,000 words today. Oh my God. That's huge. All right. Well, congratulations, you guys. We are super proud of you. Richard says this was a lot of fun. I'm glad I was able to join you. Right. Exactly. JC's asking a question, but we're not going to answer that.
Oh no, she said, "Is it still Sandstorm?" That's what I call it. It's not
okay.
title, but it is that project. Yes.
Okay, fantastic, very nice. Richard, just subscribe to your newsletter. Yay! Dun dun dun. And if you're following my advice, your newsletter subscribers should, in fact, hear about the title first, right? Because your newsletter gets all the goodies. All right, you guys, you are awesome. Let's quickly go around and do our outros before we head out today. Story Detective, you get to go first.
Okay, well, my channel that has recently made a comeback will have more videos since I finished one today and started another, and we should be filming hopefully tomorrow or the next day. So it's moving.
Excellent. Congratulations. Very nice. Michelle, tell us a little about you and your awesome channel.
All right. I'm Michelle Schusterman. I'm the author of middle grade, young adult, and now adult fiction. My channel is writing workshops and traditional publishing chat and writing blogs.
Very nice. Congratulations. Everybody's super excited. So congratulations. I am Lisa Daly. I'm a hybrid author, traditionally published and indie published.
Pause for
advice. If you want to write a book you're super proud of and get it published, this is an awesome place to start. We will see you guys next Wednesday, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Eastern time. Thanks and bye for now. All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. Bye. Dun, dun, dun.